Hey guys, it's Phoenix Automotive here again. In this video, we're going to be going over the 2009 to 2014 F-150s. Couple things to note. We've already gone through the 4 and 5 options. You can check that video in the description below. What we're doing today is options 1, 2, and 3. We've discovered of all the F-150s out there, there are these 5 different types of vehicles. In this video, we're going over 1, 2 to 3. And these are the units you're going to be getting depending on what option you have. So let's get started. The first unit we have here is for options 1 and 2 if you have no sync. If there's no sync badge here, like a piece of plastic that says sync, that means your vehicle does not have sync. With the non-sync F-150s, you're gonna be getting a radio harness that you're gonna be plugging into the factory radio, and then this one will go right into here. Well, you'll also be getting a GPS antenna. All our units come with this GPS antenna. You plug into here. And with the non-sync F-150s, this is the harness you're going to be getting. It's a pretty simple connection. You're going to be connecting the main harness to here. You're going to connect the main connector here and here. Now these two connections are going to be coming from the kind of like a metal box like so. You're going to be taking this metal box out, and again behind it there's going to be 2 connections that are similar to these 2 right here. So take this box out and make these factory connections. After you've done those 2 factory connections, make sure you have the box plugged in. Once you have these 2 connected, the AC controls, you're going to connect these 2, which are factory connections. This one is only on certain vehicles. If you don't have this connection, just leave it alone and no need to plug it in. You're going to have a RCA female here. Now you can connect an aftermarket backup camera to this RCA for the reverse trigger to show this video feed. Most of these units, the non-sync F-150s, don't have a backup camera, so you can get an aftermarket one and plug it through here. You'll also get a couple other cables. This cable is your USB connection. It's a yellow port, and you can see there's a groove on the bottom and a cut on the right corner, bottom left corner, and that will go right here in this connector. And these 2 USB ports, we route them either to the glove compartment or anywhere you want quick access to them. If you did purchase built-in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you're going to be connecting it to the OTG port. The other port is also a data transfer wire. It's just the built-in CarPlay and Android Auto would be going through here. So that's where you connect the USB connection. A couple things to note: if you are planning on putting an aftermarket sound system, you do need these 2 connections. And there's 4 sets of RCAs for both the front, back, right, and left speakers. So if we find those right here, this white connector would go over here next to the yellow. This blue connector would go right here next to the white. And looking at these connections, for the aftermarket sound system, you're going to be using 4 sets of RCAs, 2 reds and 2 whites. And those are going to be RCA R, RCA L on the white one, and RCA R, RCA L on the blue one. So these 4 RCAs will give you your aftermarket sound system for those outputs. Moving on, staying on the white connector, you can see we have other RCAs. There's a yellow, white, and a red. Now these yellow, white, and red RCAs, they are both all labeled AUX. One is AUX-V, AUX-R, and AUX-L. This is a input that you can put videos to and sound. So you can put maybe a console, put the video feed through here, and then right and left audio through these RCA ports. And this will go through the AUX app on our unit. After you have these hooked up, what you can also do is have these video outputs. So the video input you put in here will actually duplicate to the video out 1 and 2 on the blue connector. So you can hook up 2 external monitors to show what's happening on this aux-V input. On the blue connector, there is a purple wire, and on the white connector, there is an orange wire. These 2 wires are both labeled reversing power supply. You can either use these as a trigger wire to trigger the reverse screen, so you can put 12 volts to it to trigger the reverse, or you can use it as a power wire to trigger or to power your aftermarket camera. On the white connector, you have 2 RCA females that are yellow and they're labeled CVBS out. These are inputs, and you can put aftermarket cameras as long as they connect through RCA. So the first unit we have here is for vehicles that either remove their factory CD player or that metal box. This unit will still work. And a couple things to note also, if your vehicle does not have the sync badge here, or it does not have a horizontal screen that's like a little rectangle, like a long rectangle, or you may have the long rectangle and you also remove that box that we mentioned earlier. You also get a couple covers here, and depending on your outlay of buttons, you can pop this off and change them out depending on your button layout. Earlier mentioning with the sync at the bottom, if you do not have a sync badge, then of course your unit does not have sync and you would be using this. An example of a unit that does have sync, if we look at this video or this picture, you can see that there is a sync badge right there. So if yours is not, if it does not say sync, then you would be going with this unit right here. Now that we've gone through that, let's go through this unit. Now this unit in particular is compatible with both options 1 and 2. You're going to be plugging in the factory AC connections to here. This USB connects to the bottom right here. And again, OTG is the port you use if you have built-in CarPlay or Android Auto. The other USB port does provide data, but it's not the one you use for CarPlay or built-in Android Auto. There is an SP connector right here, and you would connect the external speaker. Now this external speaker you connect to here, and we route this anywhere inside the car as long as you have, as long as you can hear it. And what comes out of here is navigation sound, say Google Maps or Maps.me or Here We Go. Left and right turn sound notifications will come out here, like turn left, turn right on this street. You also have a external microphone that you can plug in, or you can use the factory one. Now, this option and this one as well, they both use the same harness, and that is this harness right here. So on this harness, you have two T harnesses where you're going to be removing this CD player. If yours is not a CD player, it's probably just no CD player, but it's still a box. You got to remove this. Behind it, there are two connectors right here, and we can show you that it does connect like so. And you would put the two T harnesses here. Once you've connected that, make sure you connect this T harness back to the vehicle so we can speak with this CD player right here. Couple connectors to make. You have two other connectors, this white connector that goes to the bottom right here. And again, this USB cable goes down here. And you have this connector that needs to connect to a decoder box. So take this decoder box and plug it in. If you don't have this plugged in, it will not work. Other things to note, you do have the microphone input for the external microphone if you want to use it. The built-in one is pretty good with the PX6 units. You have a two green wires with this 2-prong. This does not need to be connected. You have a wire that's labeled reverse. This is for either the trigger or getting power to a camera. Can give 12 volts, or you would put 12 volts in it to trigger the reverse. An ACC wire for power, and also an ILL wire. Now this wire is not needed. The next ones are RCA ports. DVR CVBS. This is for a external video source. So you can put a video source in here, go into the DVR app, and you should be able to see that video feed. aux CVBS. This is also a input, so you can put a video feed in here, and you can go to the aux app to see what shows on that video feed. And this green one right here is called CCD CVBS. This is for a backup camera. Say you want to hook up an aftermarket backup camera and you want the reverse trigger to show this video feed. So when you go in reverse, this is where that video feed will come from. So pretty straightforward connections. Connect the top white connector to this bottom right here. Connect the USB connection. Connect the decoder box, the red box you have. And the external microphone is not mandatory. The navigation speaker, not mandatory, but it is needed if you want to have turn-by-turn navigation on third-party apps. And for the AC controls, you're going to be plugging in these two. Majority of vehicles will have these two connections. Some of them will have this. If you don't have this connector, no need to plug it in. With that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is the same thing. We're going to be moving this harness over to here. The only difference is now that you've made these connections to the CD player or that big metal box, you're going to make the same connection here. You're going to connect the red decoder box. You're going to connect the USB harness, which is here. And the next thing to do for the AC controls, unlike this unit here where you plug into our vehicle or to our unit, you're going to be removing this piece, and we provide you a metal box or a metal casing. This metal casing goes over it just to prevent it from getting pushed upon, otherwise it's going to control your AC. Screw it in, and you're going to make these two connections. In terms of where you're going to be putting this, there's no solid way, just make sure it's secure inside the car. And in terms of the little horizontal screen that you have at the top of the vehicle, that horizontal screen you can leave inside, no need to remove it from the vehicle. But make sure you do disconnect it. Now that we've gone through options 1 to 2, this is options 1 and 2 without sync, or say you've connected an aftermarket system and you've removed this already. This one is usable, is compatible. This is for option 1 and 2 again, but this time with sync. This third one is for the 3 indicator heated seats. The last one is option 3. Option 3 is pretty straightforward. It looks like this. It has temperatures up and down for the arrow, blue and red. And here's what we have. You have the GPS connector, which we had earlier in the first one. You just connect it here. You have this harness. Now this harness does look a little bit different, and you can see what we've done here. We've made some connections already. But again, straightforward, plug it to the top here. Plug in the USB harness, this USB harness right here. You will have a small speaker where you plug it into SP, labeled here. And let's look at this. You have to connect the decoder box, which is the red box right here. And other things to note, you have a couple RCAs. So again, the green RCA is for factory backup camera. So some of these vehicles do have factory backup camera, and you can see on this edge right here, you're going to be connecting this to the original screen. Now that original screen you had for the factory backup camera video feed, disconnect that screen, plug this to here, make this male RCA connection to this green one. It's going to be labeled CCD CVBS. The other RCAs you have are aux CVBS for the AUX app. And you also have this yellow one that should be an input as well, that you can put video feed. I believe it's a DVR one. And then you have an external mic input that you can plug in an external mic. Again, you have ACC wire, reverse wire, and the ILL. The ILL is not needed. You may want to use the ACC or the reverse to trigger the backup camera. The next thing to do is make sure you do connect this green and black connector here. So this is the only one where you have this connection. The other vehicle had the same connector here, however, nowhere to plug, same connector here, however, nowhere to plug it in. And you can see that we have this connector right here. They're the same, but on the other vehicles, we don't use this. So on the option 3, if you look at that picture again with the option 3, you have to make this connection. Connect this to the factory screen. This one connector is just one T-harness that goes behind the CD player. So pretty simple, only one. Usually there's 2, but this one's only 1. And the last but not least is your factory LVDS cable. It's going to be coming from a vehicle. You just plug it in here. And from there, all the AC controls should work as well. And you have these buttons here to control. So that's a quick rundown of the 2009 to 2014 Ford F-150s, options 1, 2, and 3. A little bit confusing, but watch the video again if you need to understand it again, or give us a call and we can also inform you about how to choose the right vehicle. You just have to send us a picture of your dash to our email, and we can check out that dash picture and send you an appropriate link to the unit. Let's move on and get to the settings in the vehicle if you still have trouble with the controls. The next part of this video, we're going to be going over the car type settings for your specific vehicle. Again, this is for F-150 2009 all the way to 2014. And the first one we're going to go through is the options 1 and 2, and say you do not have the sync badge, or you do not have that horizontal screen, or say you do have the horizontal screen, but you put an aftermarket system so you no longer have this CD player or metal box. This is the setting for options 1 and 2 without sync. we're going to go into settings. At the top, you can scroll left and right to the different apps. Settings is the one we're going to be in. Scroll down to install set. And for options 1 and 2 without sync, passcode is 666-888, 36 is 38s, press OK. On the car type, we're going to be choosing F-150 LO. After you've chosen F-150 LO, check that your protocol is going to be default. So let's look for default for the protocol. The car info, we're going to be choosing S2 manual touch origin. Again, this is for F-150 2009 to 14 with no sync badge or no horizontal screen, or maybe you do have the horizontal screen and you remove the factory CD player or the factory metal box and you have an aftermarket setup. So once you've set the car info to S2 manual touch origin and default protocol, check mark the box, press OK. Press the back button on the bottom left corner and save and reboot. If you're still having trouble, what I would do is after save and rebooting, press the RST button with a paper clip or something like a loose wire. What I do sometimes is take off the cap and use this wire to press the button to reset it. So after you've done a save and reboot and you've also tried the reset after it fully boots, check if your settings are working like AC controls. Now that we've gone through the first 1 to 2 options with no sync, the next one is the second option where you have options 1 and 2 with the sync badge or with the horizontal screen. One thing to note is that this is for the vehicles with no 3 indicator light. So if you do have a 3 indicator light, skip ahead to the video, skip ahead in this video for those car setting options. So if you do not have 3 light indicators and yours is looking like options 1 and 2, the car type you're going to be set on, again, settings, gear icon at the top, install set, 3 6s, 3 8s. The car type we're going to be choosing is F-150 LO. And then the protocol, we're going to be making sure that it's Shinbasi. So let's look for that protocol, XINBASI. Now option 1 is usually the manual AC, so you would choose 9 to 12 manual AC. But in this case, we're going with this functionality with no 3 indicators, and maybe you have an auto button right there, you would choose auto. So once we've chosen that, the protocol is Shinbasi, 9 to 12 auto AC, check mark the box, press OK. Whoops, didn't check mark the box, let's go back in. Check mark the box, press OK. And when it press the back button, save and reboot. Again, if no function's working, best is to press the RST button when it fully boots up, just to make sure that it fully sets in. So those were for options 1 and 2 if you have sync functionality and yours is not a 3 indicator heated seats. The next option we're going to go through is if you have option 2, and specifically your option 2 has 3 light indicators. So for this one, we're going to go to settings again at the top. On the left side is install set. In the car type, we're going to be choosing Mustang. Now it's going to be a little bit odd, but choose the Mustang with nothing next to it. So it's just going to be Mustang. Whoops, press back. Mustang. This is for option 2, and you have 3 light indicators on the heated seats. You're going to be choosing Mustang. Make sure the protocol is Shinbasi. And then the car info you're going to be choosing is 9 to 12 auto AC. So choosing that is option 2 with the 3 indicators on the heated seats. Now, if you don't want this Mustang picture, don't check mark the box, and let's press OK. Whoops, we check mark the box just by pressing that. Press OK. Press the back button on the bottom left. Save and reboot. After it saves and reboot, if it boots up still not working, press the RST button to get it to reboot again, and hopefully it'll keep that setting. So if yours is option 2 with the 3 light indicators on the heated seats, again, car type is Mustang. Once you've chosen Mustang, the protocol is the same, Shinbasi. Car info, we're going to choose 9 to 12 auto. No need to check mark the box. You can choose your own picture, so let's press OK, and I'll show you where you can choose that picture. If you go to settings at the top, let's make this a big screen. At the bottom, you can see boot logo. what you'll do is please select an image, you'll press this, and you're gonna find the image. Most people, what they'll do is they plug in a flash drive to one of these USB ports, and you can find your flash drive here. It'll pop up here, and you can choose the image you have on the flash drive as the boot logo, meaning when the vehicle starts up, you'll see a picture of whatever picture you chose. The last card type we're going to be choosing is if you have option 3. Option 3 is pretty simple and easy as well. We're going to go to settings at the top and install set 666-888. In the card type we're going to be choosing is F-150 high. After you choose F-150 high, make sure your protocol is on Xinbasi as well, XINBASI. And the car info we're going to be choosing is 9 to 12 auto AC. After you've chosen 9 to 12 auto AC, check mark the box. I actually just pressed on the picture and that you can see the box check mark. Press OK. Oh. Press the back button on the bottom left, save and reboot. Once it boots up, just to settle in, I would press the RST button to see if it settles in. So long story short, the first option, if you have options 1 and 2 and you do not have sync, or you remove the factory CD player or that metal box, you're going to be choosing default as the protocol. The other units, we're going to be choosing Xinbasi. And the final thing we're going to go through is factory backup camera. Sometimes the setting is not set correctly, and we're going to be going to install set 666-888, okay? Reversing video format, make sure it's on CVBS. So just make sure that the camera setting is set to CVBS. That's how to choose the car types for the different units you have from options 1 to 3. We do have a video on how to set those for options 4 and 5. Check out that video. It should be in the link in the description below. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and follow us for future content. Thank you. Bye guys.